Hey everyone, welcome back. So I hope you guys are having a great Monday. This is the second video for today. The first video was on Hut 8. This one's going to be on Riot. They had record breaking as far as their BTC produced. Fantastic growth as well, but they did miss their BTC production estimates, so we'll take a look at it. They're blaming it on their mining pool. We'll look at that also, see what that actually means, what I had them estimated as possibly making with what they did make, and we'll get into all the numbers here. But as always, this is not financial advice for entertainment only. Do your own research, and I'm invested in following coins and companies for full disclosure. If you enjoy this type of content, hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out. Okay, let's take a look at Riot here really quick. We went over this earlier, but they are currently at $4.66. They did get up above today, at least. They were up to a high of $5.13, and they fell 6.05% today. And you can see here that they've been falling here for the last, couple months here, pretty much all year. If you go back to the beginning of November of last year, where we pretty much peaked, you can see that they have been falling and continue to have fallen. We had a little bit of a break here back in March. Bitcoin kind of rebounded a little bit, but then continued falling down, and we've been bouncing off of that for a while. Okay, we did reach a new 52-week low here in the last week and a half, where they ended up at roughly a low of 391. So they have been bouncing off of that, which is pretty good. Okay, so that's kind of what's going on with the stock. It's being down like the rest of the miners are, but let's take a look at the production update for November. Okay, so Riot announces November 2022 production and operation updates. Here are the main points. So Riot produced 521 BTC, an increase of approximately 12% compared to last year this time. Riot held approximately 6,897 BTC, all produced by the company's self-mining operations. As of the end of November, Riot sold 450 BTC, generating net proceeds of approximately 8.1 million. Riot had a deployed fleet of 72.4 thousand miners with a hash rate capacity of 7.7 exahash per second as of November 30th. So I'm guessing that's going to be a mixture of some of their immersion cooling miners, right? Because if you had these at 110 or at 100 terahash, you'd only be at 7.2 exahash. So with them being only at 72,000 miners, they got to be using some, potentially the 140 terahash miners, or some of the other miners that they have, the S19Js. Those are the ones that are immersion cooled. They have 200 megawatts of that. This is possibly the gains that we're seeing from that as well. Okay, so something to be mindful of there. And here's a quote from CEO Jason Les. Riot again achieved a new record for total hash rate capacity during the month of November, resulting in our highest monthly Bitcoin production figure to date, said Jason Les, CEO of Riot. Despite this new level of production, expected production was approximately 660 Bitcoin, given our operational hash rate over the month. I actually had them a little bit higher than that, but that's if they were mining for the full month, but we'll take a look at it here when we get into my data. Assuming normalized performance of the mining pool we participate in, variance in the mining pool can impact results, and while this variance should balance out over time, can be volatile in the short term. This variance led to the lower Bitcoin production than expected in the month of November relative to our hash rate. I also think that they possibly did some curtailment based on what I'm seeing. And it could be also the pool itself is contributing to it as well. I'm not saying that's not that, but they didn't say anything here about curtailment. So I wonder if they tried to be at 100% operation for the month instead of doing curtailment, or if it was just omitted here for whatever reason. And then in order to ensure more predictable results going forward, Riot will be transitioning to another mining pool which offers a more consistent reward mechanism, so the Riot will fully benefit from our rapidly growing hash rate capacity as we work towards our goal of reaching 12.5 exahash in the first quarter of 2023. Okay, so that's fine there, but that's going to be a lot of work. The software itself can, if you have good software, you can update the settings on the Bitcoin miners relatively quickly with probably a couple of clicks on the keyboard and the mouse, and you should have it all, transferred over to the new mining pool. They did receive 10,512 of the new S19 series miners in November. They increased its deployed fleet by 6,912 S19 series miners, which approximately 6.912 miner stage for deployment. So they have those coming on, and then once those miners get deployed, they would be at approximately 9.7. And then additionally, shipments of 5,000 S19 series miners have been initiated, so that's good there. Their infrastructure update, most of their buildings, it looks like in Rockdale facility are now complete, the exteriors at least, so they're working on the interiors on the remaining ones, so that's good there. And then estimated hash rate growth during Q1 2023, Riot anticipates a total self-mining hash rate capacity of 12.5 exahash, assuming full deployment of approximately 115,000 Antminers ASICs, but excluding any potential incremental productivity gains from the company's utilization of 200 megawatts immersion cooling, which is kind of cool. They still have not provided any updates as far as what the percentage gains are on the miners when they are in the immersion cooling. That would be really nice to see the data on that one. Okay. Human resources, don't care about that. Don't care about that either. And let's take a look at the numbers that I have for them. And let's see here. We got Hut 8. We just did a video on that one. So that one's already out. Okay. Riot blockchain has 167 million shares outstanding roughly. That's the calculated version of it. So market cap divided by stock price is how many shares we're getting out in the market, at least right now. Market cap is 829 million. Stock price is $4.96. The high for the 52 weeks was $30.67, and the low was $3.81, which we just reached about a week and a half ago, somewhere around there. Okay, current hash rate 7.7 exahash. Future hash rate 12.5. They're saying I have them at 12.6 based on what they provided, and then they are currently 61% operational, installed fully. They still have about 64% worth of growth left to get into the 12.6, 12.5 exahash. Average hash rate per miner is about 100 terahash, which is really good. And then BTC HODL is 6,897. So that's valued at 117 million as well. And that's only 14.15% of their HODL to market cap ratio. And each share has 70 cents of HODL position in it right now. Now, BTC production has been kind of, what's the word I'm looking for here? Up and down, I guess. Kind of like a roller coaster ride. So January they started out at 458, February was 436, March 511, April was 508, May was 466, June 421, July 318. They did a lot of curtailing during that time. Bitcoin was coming down in price. Electricity demand was high, so they made, I think, a pretty good decision on that. In those months, August was 374, September 355, October nice gains there, 509, and then November 521. We can see their BTC per exahash efficiency here. So they started out the year at 132. They are now at 67.6. Once they start installing less, I know it's kind of counterintuitive, but we're using the end of the month hash rate to calculate what their BTC per exahash is. If we use the average, their efficiencies do go up. And I can show you here. So we got them at 67.6 here on that one. And then if we use the miner comparison worksheet, and I've been putting in some more data here. Riot right now is at 71. If we use the average, so the beginning of the month hash rate, ending hash rate for the month, averaging it out, and then what they mined for the month is 71. So you can see that that does help out if we use the average. So approximately 4 more BTC per exahash averages out. Okay, so that's been coming down. We've been seeing this also with other miners, and I think once they stop growing so much, that should help them out with this number as well. Okay, so for the month of November, we got them at 521 BTC mined. That gets us to the 67.6 BTC per exahash and about 9.17 million in revenue, which is a little bit lower than what they had in October, which was 10 million for that one. Based on 509, Bitcoin price was different at that point as well. And November, we're using the Bitcoin average price of 17,600, I believe, for the month on that one. So it's going to be down. And let's see what else can we show you guys here. I do have them selling about 449. They said 450. We're close enough to that. I have them at 7.9. That's at 8 point something million in revenue for it. So we're pretty close to that. Then as far as the miners that got installed this time around, we had miners of, let me see, these miners here. Installed 3,000, 3.5, 1.5, and 250 here. Those are the ones that got installed in November to get us to the 7.7 exahash, which they reported. And those were running for about 17 days, I'm guessing somewhere around there on average. And the rest of the miners, I have them at 18.5 in order to get us to the $9.17 million in revenue, which would be the 521 BTC. So I ran the numbers on this. I got them. They reported they should have been around 660, which still is a pretty big difference from where they are right now. I believe, what did they report? They should have been at 660 Bitcoin, was approximately 660. I had them at 820, 800 to 820, somewhere around there, BTC, what they should have mined if they were operational for the full time in November, which is 30 days on everything. That's kind of where they should have been. So they must have done still some curtailment in there as well, based on this. Because if they were mining for the full month, they should have been closer to 800 BTC, which would have been a huge number for them. But they are also getting credits for the electricity that they don't use, so it kind of is a wash, I guess you could say, in a sense. Okay, so that's kind of what we're looking at there. And what else do we have here? Institutions. Institutions did increase a little bit more, so 321 institutions from 318. We got 3 more, that's good. Shares also increased by about 5.6 million shares to 60,910,000. Percentage owned increase as well to 36.41. We still have the same buy rating, so strong is 3, buy is 7, hold is 1. And then the high actually went down. Excuse me. The high came down to 15 from $17, and the average went down to 10.30 from 12.19, and the low is at 6 from 7. So they're adjusting their numbers here. We've seen these numbers come way down here from $82 back in the beginning of the year all the way to $15, and we're adjusting to the situation that we're in. Markets are down, Bitcoin's down, hash rate is up, they're producing less, so we do have to adjust with it as well. Okay, so that's kind of where they have them at 15 as the high, 6 is the low. And then let's take a look at where I have them actually right now. So based on, they already reported their last 3 quarters, which are final. Those are not going to change. So that equates to 126 million. I have the current quarter at potentially 34.4 million if things work out the way that they are right now. And it all depends on how many days they're mining in December, Bitcoin price where it ends up at, hash rate where everything ends up. We could be somewhere around there between 30 to 34 million. I think it sounds pretty fair. So they are currently trading at, where are they at? They are at 496. They're trading at about a 9. They're actually trading at about a 10 PE right now, based on what I have met. But a 50% net income we're looking at, I give them because they're growing quite nicely here. They should be probably closer to $9.60 to $14.40. And the analysts had them at what, 15? Right? Am I right on that? $15 to $6. Yeah, so that's kind of where I have them as well, between $14 and $9.60. But if Bitcoin starts going up quite nicely, we have seen Marathon, Riot, some of the other guys that have been growing pretty nicely, trade it with a PE of closer to even 25, 30, and higher than that. So $14.40 to $21.60. Now, Bitcoin next year starts going back up to new all-time highs. Things are going to change drastically here for them because they're going to be making a lot more each month going forward. And that will also increase their potential to be higher valued as well. Okay? Something to be mindful of. So currently way undervalued, just like the majority of the miners are right now. I've been dollar cost averaging as best as I can into the ones that I do have, but kind of kicking myself not getting into Riot here when it dropped down below $4. But you can't spend what you don't have. So we pick our battles, and hopefully we pick our battles correctly. But that's kind of the thing that we just got to be mindful of. Especially investing for the long term. I'm investing for the long term. Riot was one of the ones that I did like. It was actually probably after Iris Energy, but everything that happened with Iris Energy, they're on my kind of sidelines right now. Riot would have fallen into that if I had the cash to do it, to buy into it. I don't. So we'll see where we end up at. If it falls again, which we don't know, I may pick it up a little bit here. Maybe 200 shares, maybe 250, depending where it goes. But I still want to dollar cost average it more into CleanSpark and Bitfarms. Those are the ones that I have the higher conviction in right now. But Riot is doing really well, and they're definitely on my radar as one of the companies I'd like to pick up some more shares of, which I don't have any right now. Okay. Other than that, great job by Riot for continued growth. BTC production could be better. I know that they're doing curtailments, so that's fine. And they're also using a little bit of their BTC, selling some of it to fund operations, growth, things like that. So I love that. And that is it. They just need to continue to execute on this. I think they're doing a fantastic job. Okay, that is it. Now, if Riot is watching, guys, I still haven't received the email with the answers that we sent in from questions from the subscribers and Twitter followers as well, and my own questions in there. It's been almost 2-3 weeks. I'll give you guys another week, and then I'll email you if that doesn't happen. Okay, that is it. Hope you enjoyed it. Spreadsheets available to my Patreon members as always. Thank you to everyone there for their continued support. They're beautiful, lovely people over there. And thank you so much for watching. Love you all also. So have a great night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be talking about Bit Digital and whoever else reports. Okay, so that is it. Have a great night.